Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you for giving us your time today. We really do appreciate it. I just thought I'd quickly get started by saying thank you for getting started and taking the time out of your busy days. I know everybody has a lot on. So just very quickly, I'll introduce myself. My name is Andrew Farah. I am a SYSPRO employee. I have been in sales and software for my entire career now, which is, I won't give you how long that's been because it may give away my age. Some people think I'm young, but you know, I question that. But it's been well over 10 years. So thank you again. I suppose a bit about me, my passion is to allow businesses to think outside the box, innovate, and continuously improve. So it's quite important to me. I get huge fulfillment out of seeing these businesses succeed. Just a bit of housekeeping before we continue on. If you would like to see this presentation at a later stage, you can always go back and watch and listen through. A link will be sent through an email, through the email you've registered with. So that will be coming through. And if you want to go back, you can always do so. So just what's on the cards for today: chatbots and artificial intelligence, cobots and robotics, big data, blockchain, IoT, and a supply chain. So I won't go into too much depth today, but I will touch on all those things. There's a little bit to go through, and hopefully it gives you just a pretty good snapshot as to what those things are and where they fit in, and how they all work together. So I suppose an efficient supply chain is vital for your business to deliver their products to their consumers when they need and want them. As the global market continues to evolve, supply chain managers must think more innovatively and proactively to remain competitive and, of course, enable growth. As you may know, innovation is shaping both business and society and playing an increasing role in everything we do. In this webinar, we'll focus on the latest innovations that can improve some of that supply chain and logistics, while also aiming to boost revenue and productivity all around. Some of these innovations include chatbots and artificial intelligence, robotics and cobots, as mentioned, and blockchain, IoT, etc. We need to have a look at how this enhances the supply chain. And without further ado, we'll just dive straight in. So what are chatbots? A chatbot is a computer program which conducts human-like conversations via auditory or textual methods. So by adding a chatbot to your telecommunication system, your business will allow customers to quickly troubleshoot or analyze a product. Chatbots can be an ideal tool for companies to achieve better supply chain visibility, which will result in an improved customer service experience. Supply chain integrations and ERP systems provide existing data and interfaces that are a good basis for automated data retrieval for tracking and traceability. Chatbots are one of the best subsets of AI or artificial intelligence right now. And in the coming years, they are set to become more prevalent in their use and more hidden in their implementation. New and innovative use cases will help answer any questions around whether chatbot use is acceptable or where it's acceptable rather, and how it can become better, a better use or serve us better across many different domains. Advancements in artificial intelligence, coupled with the proliferation of messaging apps, are continuing to fuel the developments of chatbots. Artificial intelligence, or AI, is poised to potentially be one of the most disruptive technologies in history. AI is set to revolutionize many complex tasks that were once the sole domain of humans. This will only escalate as time goes on and will continue to impact the way we do business, the way we operate now and furthermore into the future. So some messaging platforms such as Skype, Slack, WhatsApp, in-app messaging, to name a few, take care of the actual UI or user interface, and integration is needed to communicate with ERPs, databases, or CRM systems to receive the required information and present it to the customer. So what are the predictions for these bots? Well, last year, Bank of America Merrill Lynch said that 45% of manufacturing jobs will be automated within a decade, up from 10% today. That is a huge, significant change from 10% to 45%, and will only continue to increase. A good example in the logistics industry where UPS is already using some of these chatbots. According to a report in the Wall Street Journal, customers of UPS can now ask the chatbot to find, nearby stores, locations, calculate shipping rates, and show the current location of the package. The possibilities are endless, and we're just scraping the surface, but you can imagine how this will continue to grow over time. So moving on from chatbots will then be cobots and robotics. Now, what are they is essentially the first question that we need to answer here. And a cobot is a collaborative robot, or cobots are a robotic device, I suppose, intended to interact physically with humans in a shared workplace or workspace. A cobot can manipulate objects and perform specific tasks in collaboration with human workers. So they're designed to work alongside human workers in production environments, assisting humans with a variety of tasks. Because automation is key to the logistics and supply chain sectors, robots are playing a bigger part in improving levels of automation in warehouse and logistics. So let's take Amazon as an example. In their warehouse, each of these cobots or robots has its own area to cover. Learning where it takes its inventory from, which is then picked and packed to a member of the warehouse staff for further distribution, or it can go directly onto trucks. Each of these small orange robots has what resembles a pallet on its back, so it can travel easily around the warehouse and be quite mobile and maneuverable. So by switching the method or the man-to-goods process to a goods-to-man process, the overall process is expedited, it becomes more accurate, and machines like these are just an example of how robotics can be used to revolutionize logistics. Another example closer to home is a SYSPRO customer who has a fully automated warehouse, which allows them to be more efficient and securely stock inventory using robots, motorized racking and stock picking systems. The fourth industrial revolution and rise of robotics is quickly turning what used to be a fantasy to truly smart factories into a productive reality. With the rise of robotics, naturally, job security has been questioned and will continue to be. But according to research conducted by the World Economic Forum, over 5 million jobs will be lost by 2020 as a result of development in genetic, artificial intelligence, robotics, and other technological advancements. However, with all of that said, innovation should be used to support and enhance human productivity rather than replacing it altogether. The second industrial revolution and electricity era gave birth to the car assembly line, which in turn led to more jobs being created for human labourers. In the case of the example I gave earlier with the SYSPRO customer, the company has retained and redeployed those warehouse staff to other parts of the distribution business, giving them a more skilled workforce that continues to learn and progress their own careers, allowing the business to focus on strategy and more forward-thinking ideas rather than labour planning. Another buzzword that you may have heard is big data. So I suppose to give you a bit of an outline and an overview of what it is, it's a term for data sets that are so large and complex that traditional data processing application softwares are inadequate to deal with them. Challenges include capturing, storage, analysis, data curation, visualization, and privacy. The term big data often refers simply to the use of predictive analytics, user behavior, or certain other advanced data analytic methods that extract value from data. There is little doubt that quantities of data are now just becoming huge. They're so large that they're becoming difficult to siphon through what's real and what's relevant. But the most relevant characteristics are what's important to each business. So analysis of data sets can find new correlations to spot business trends. They can prevent disease if you're in a medical field. They can combat crime for defense or governments, for example. Scientists use them, for practitioners of medicine, advertising, governments all get together. All these various departments and business segments all get together to work through the difficulties with large data sets, and there are a multitude of them. But based on a TCS survey in 2015, a global trend study improvements in supply chain and product quality provide the greatest benefit of big data for manufacturing. Big data provides an infrastructure for transparency in the manufacturing industry, which is the ability to unravel uncertainties such as inconsistent component performance and availability. Predictive manufacturing as an applicable approach towards near zero downtime and transparency requires vast amounts of data and advanced prediction tools for a systematic process of data into useful information. A conceptual framework of predictive manufacturing begins with data acquisitions, where different types of sensory data is available to acquire, such as acoustics, vibration, pressure, current voltage, and controller data. Vast amounts of sensory data, in addition to historical data, construct the big data in manufacturing. The generated big data acts as an import into a predictive tool and preventative strategies such as prognosis and health management. All of these advantages are quickly becoming the new standard for business rather than advancement. So we are getting smarter, and it is becoming standard and accepted that this is what is expected of business these days. So this brings us to IoT. I apologise for that slide there, but it brings us to IoT. And I suppose if you want to know, using some of that sensory data and using all the things we just discussed or I've just outlined, if you want to know how many watts you've consumed, how many tax credits you're owed, how many steps you've walked, or whether your car engine is performing optimally, this is what some of that data can tell you, or IoT can tell you anyhow, and it will help you form that big data. So where can this bring some type of value to the organisation? At a very basic level, knowing when a particular part of production or piece of machinery is underutilised, or potentially knowing when it's overutilised and could form a risk to the business. This is key. But further up the scale of IoT in the supply chain is the ability to squeeze out a bit of data that in turn becomes your competitive advantage. So as a simple example of this, power consumption during your manufacturing or supply chain process can be optimized for peak or off-peak periods. It sounds very simple, but it then will allow you to create better decisions or make better decisions when selecting suppliers for your power, or of course you can then begin to do things such as cycle between parts of the process, machines, production lines, etc., to become more efficient. And this will show a significant efficiency increase, and that means a happier bottom line at the end of the day. The information within the Internet of Things creates value in a never-ending value loop that consists of 5 stages. You can see those 5 stages there on screen, and they are to create or use the sensors to generate information about an event or state, communicate, which is transmit information from one network/device to another, aggregate, gathering together of information created from difficult times and measured to identify a baseline, analyze, which will discover patterns that lead to descriptions, prescriptions, and predictions for behavior, and then finally to act. And that's to begin, maintain, or modify your behavior. So essentially, by knowing the first 4, you know the best path forward. That becomes a far clearer thing. It's no longer guessing, it's no longer estimating. By using the data that's come out of those first 4, you can then act accordingly to get the best possible result for business. So supply chain ecosystems and their processes will be among the biggest beneficiaries of cloud-powered IoT solutions. IoT will impact the way supply chain industry operates, giving stakeholders and management real-time end-to-end visibility, data control across their supply chains. The IoT revolution will allow for ERP and supply chain management solution enhancements by intelligently connecting people, processes, data, and things in inverted commas via devices and sensors. This deeper intelligence, again, can come to life in many different ways, from data-driven automation of manufacturing processes, to improved visibility with the warehouse, which ultimately leads to more effective, predictable, and cost-efficient operations. On the logistics front, another innovator that leverages IoT in the form of cloud technologies is Ninja Van. So it's a Singaporean-based logistics business specializing in next-day delivery for e-commerce customers. They are arguably one of the fastest growing last-mile fulfillment companies in Southeast Asia. Businesses can essentially integrate to Ninja Van's APIs and create delivery orders seamlessly. And they'll be able to then in turn receive real-time tracking updates without any involvement, using all those sensories and data that we just discussed. All these advantages do come with a warning sticker though. So with more of these devices connecting every day, we're headed for a world that will have an estimated 20 billion IoT devices by 2020. The growth of IoT carries several benefits, but with all of those benefits comes risk, as the increase in connected devices gives hackers and more cyber criminals increased entry points. So how do we combat this? Companies need to build security and contingency plans into software applications and network connections that are linked, to connected devices to be secure and backed up. More thought needs to be put into protecting your systems and protect your software infrastructure investments. Whether we allow mobile devices or web access or desktop access, we must take action. It takes a long time to recover and even longer to be at full strength for any one of these types of attacks or mishaps. So part of the taking initiative and thinking outside the box and looking for ways to protect ourselves is blockchain. So what is blockchain? The idea of blockchain was first announced by Satoshi Nakamoto in October 2008 under what's known as Bitcoin. Bitcoin is a digital currency you may or may not have heard of, using blockchain technology. It is still currently the largest digital currency, but has been subject to a lot of controversy lately. Many companies such as Microsoft and Barclays Bank, however, have been able to see beyond the reputation that Bitcoin and blockchain has had, and have seen some of the benefits of the technology that's underpinning it. The primary benefit of using blockchain is in its security. The distribution of the network makes it near impossible to hack, and once converted to a hash, cannot be converted back to its original set of data. So any alterations or changes to the documents or transactions will produce a different signature, which would then in turn alert the network. It makes fraud and genuine error far easier to spot and nice and easy to flag. So how could blockchain and IoT enhance the supply chain? A number of companies are rolling out new technology solutions that pair blockchain with connected sensors to provide history, visibility, and security into their supply chains. Several efforts are already being made to leverage the power of blockchain in improving the management of supply chain. According to the Wall Street Journal, IBM has already rolled out a service that allows customers to test blockchains in a secure cloud and track high-value items through complex chain solutions. Another example is Walmart, who are using blockchain to monitor produce in its stores. IBM, Walmart, and Beijing's Tsinghua University last year announced a joint effort to track the movement of food products in China using blockchain technology to improve the food safety in the world's second largest economy. The retailer will use the database technology to track prepackaged produce at the individual package level, from the farm where it's produced and grown, of course, to the supermarket floor where it's transported to. Blockchain will allow the company to pinpoint the exact source of a particular package that is sold. So in the case of a product recall, for example, it can be identified easily. This is going to be the result of better traceability and far higher efficiency. The information can be included in the barcode of that product and can save costs by reducing the amount of produce that must be recalled, providing far more granular means of recalling some of these products. At SYSPRO, looking at all of this, we embrace all forms of these new technologies and the best way to apply it. Our goal is always to simplify your success while speaking your language and future-proofing your business. Thank you again for your time and taking the time out. I hope you enjoy the rest of your afternoon. Feel free to share and ask any questions, and we'll come back to you as soon as we can. Thank you.